John likes tech and lives in Indiana, you know. Kevin likes the Dodgers and talks on the radio. John plays games on Xbox and on his Nintendo, while Kevin runs around LA with his mustachio. It's the Lack of Genius podcast, in your ear holes at last. They don't know they're Mars from Venus, that's why it's the Lack of Genius podcast. John.
Hey, Kevin.
Not only is it our second week in a row with a guest on, but
that's true.
Our second week in a row where the guest danced to the theme song.
That's true.
And he's fist bumping right now.
And I think that's only the case because we didn't have a guest 3 weeks ago. Otherwise, we'd probably have 3 in a row. Yeah.
Well, let's give a warm welcome to James. James, say soon. Yeah, James in the house. Hey, James.
Thanks for joining us, James.
Pleasure, guys. Thanks for inviting me. It's an absolute pleasure. And it's a great jingle. I love it. It was catchy.
Oh, gosh. Thank you.
Kevin wrote it with a little input from me.
Yes. Yeah, John brought it out of me, and he edited it. And anyways, we're so excited to have you. This is the Lack of Genius podcast for those who are just discovering this for the first time. My name's Kevin, and that's John over there with the beard. You can't see him, but that's his voice. And
it is.
John and I go back and forth every week, quizzing each other on various topics to prove the lack of genius of the other person. But what we like to do is bring a guest on and have them quiz us. We're the only podcast that makes the guest do work. So we asked James to be our expert on Cornhole. Yes, the game with the bags where you throw it in the hole. And James, you've been involved with the sport for quite a while, right?
I have, and this is professional, like expert in quotation marks. So I've been playing for 10 years or so now, starting in Las Vegas and now in LA, and bounce around all over the country and mainly in the state of California, Nevada. I'll play anywhere. Anywhere there's a game, especially if there's money involved, then I'll be there.
I was just going to ask about that. How much money can you make off of this?
You know what? So
what is your annual income? I'm just joking.
Not for the tax man. So there was a tournament that I played in like a month or so ago, and the first prize was $30,000 for the team, $15K each person, and the prize money was over $250,000 for all the prizes total.
Wow.
Amazing. Well, you have introduced the game of Cornhole to John and I. I mean, it's not the first time I played, but we do have a quiz prepared that we'll get to soon. But on top of that, John and I, behind the scenes, each threw some bags and kept a tally of our score, and that we're going to reveal that score later. But yeah, we have a competition going, and that will be a point in the quiz today.
Mm-hmm. I love it. So you threw how many bags and how many kind of rounds?
We did 4 rounds of 4 throws
bags
each.
Yeah.
Which we can get into the breakdown later, but that's a total of 48 points possible. Am I right on that?
It is, yeah. So I'm going to be. I'd like a kind of side bet myself, like put $5 on to see if anyone broke 40. Maybe then it drops down to like $2.50 if anyone broke 30, and then if you got below 20, you both owe me $5.
Yeah, I don't want to reveal anything just yet, but you let's just put the imaginary money out there and say, I'll agree to that in an imaginary way. Yes.
I love it.
Tidy up before we go any further with the show. Tidy up before we go. Fix our mistakes tonight. I want to get it right. Tidy up. So again, James, being relatively new to this podcast, and those who are new, this is a section where we tidy up any errors that we may have had last week, just kind of iron things out. I mean, it's not called the iron out section, it's called the tidy up section, but we'd like to tidy things up. In fact, we can incorporate you into this, James. We had this conversation before we started recording, but I'm sure there are people listening who are like, that man has an accent, if they're American, that is. And so you want to take a second to tidy up where this accent comes from?
Love to, yeah. So the accent is British, been in the US since 2019, and I'm refusing to lose it. I'm trying my hardest not to lose it. There's certain words that if I say the English version, I can't be understood, so I'm getting Americanized. And cornhole is not in England, so I'm definitely a convert, that's for sure. Expat.
Well, maybe you can bring it to England. Maybe you're going to revolutionize the country with cornhole.
I can't wait. I've missed the 12 Olympics, so I'll have to wait for the next time that it gets back over there. But
next time it gets to the UK, yeah. We're honored to have a true Brit in our show, and thanks again for being here. What do we got in terms of tidy up, John?
Well, first off, last week we were talking about Bigfoot.
Mm-hmm, yes.
We were talking about one specific question, and what do Floridians refer to Bigfoot as? And part of trying to figure that out, we were talking about one of the answers being skunk ape.
That was the answer, right?
That was the correct answer. It is.
That's what Florida refers to Bigfoot as. Their species of Bigfoot, they call it a skunk ape because it smells really bad.
Right, and your thinking was, because of how it looked, maybe, with the stripe and everything.
I thought maybe there was a stripe, yeah.
I had brought up the fact that there is a plant that, has the name skunk in it, and I couldn't remember the full name of the plant. Mm-hmm. And, the next day, I was actually over at my grandmother's house. My aunt and uncle from Seattle were in town visiting, and we were all sitting around the table, and we already had the quiz up for Bigfoot, and so they were taking it. And my grandma, reminded that skunk cabbage is the name.
Ooh,
but she was not the only one that reminded me of it this past week. Jeff McAvoy also wrote us an email saying skunk cabbage and actually gave us a link to a blog post that the company he works for, someone had written.
Yes.
So the name I was trying to think of was skunk cabbage. And one of the things that Jeff mentioned was, one, it's called skunk cabbage because it smells horrible. But it'll actually create heat to melt the snow around it so it can grow.
It's pretty cool.
That is pretty impressive. Yeah, I had one tidy up also. So James, like John said, we did an episode with an amateur Bigfoot expert. He's just a guy who knows a lot about Bigfoot, and he quizzed us on that, which was fantastic. I'm curious, James, whether you know the movie Harry and the Hendersons. Is that something that translated over to England, or?
I do. I know it. It's an old one though, right?
It is.
It is an old one. It's either late 80s or early 90s. Now I'm gonna have to tidy that up. But during the episode, I talked about it because it was also a TV show, and I believe I said that the TV show came first and then the movie. I was incorrect on that, so I'm tidying that up now. It was a movie, it was a big hit, and then they decided to make it a TV show using the same Sasquatch but a different cast of humans, and I think it ran for 3 seasons. But there's my tidy up on Bigfoot, which was a lot of fun to learn about last week.
Well, and real-time tidy up, the movie came out in 87, and the show started in 91.
Okay,
so how big was Bigfoot's foot?
Well, we had that discussion because John over there wears a size 16 foot. So we're like, does John qualify as a Bigfoot? And did we have anything else, John? I think that was it for tidy up, right?
Actually, we have one more thing.
Uh-huh.
How many listens do you think we've had, Kevin?
Oh, see, I already know the answer, so I'm playing like I don't know. We hit a milestone, though, didn't we?
I feel like it's a milestone. We've hit over 1,000 listens on all of our episodes together.
Yay!
So,
1,000. That's 4 digits, right? 1000.
It is.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah, thank you.
So, I mean, that took us, 4 months, give or take? Just a little under 4 months. Let's see if we can hit that next 1,000 in half that time.
Okay, I like it.
And you know what? As soon as we finish this podcast, I'll link it on all the Facebook Cornhole websites and posts, and then we'll see how that goes. Because there's several.
We'll become a Cornhole only podcast, and then our listenership will just skyrocket. It's time to take a quiz or two, like a genius podcast doing this for you. You may fail, but it ain't no lie, baby, it's quiz time. Don't really want this quiz to be tough, I just want to pass one cause I failed enough. It might sound crazy, but it ain't no lie, baby, it's quiz time. Yeah, James, as you're learning, we are just a podcast of jingles. We'll have a jingle for question 1 and a jingle for question 2, and that should be the last jingle you hear. But it is quiz time, and James, our guest, our master of cornhole, has provided an 8-question quiz. He was giving us a little bit of a teaser of some of his questions before we came on the air, and it sounds like it's going to be. I don't want to overhype it, but it sounds like it's going to be fun and kind of different than we've ever done, and I'm so excited for that. And I appreciate you for having that creativity, James.
I apologize because it's not going to be too simple. I could have thrown out some really easy ones, but it's going to be. I'm going to be testing your knowledge.
Yeah, and we're gonna prove just how much genius we lack on it. We're gonna be really dumb. We're gonna be really dumb on this. But look, this is about learning.
Right. I mean, and I'm not trying to cheat, Kevin. I've pulled up the questions and looking at some of them. It looks like this is going to be a fun one, though, too. Difficult,
okay, good.
fun.
Good.
Hey, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. Well, James, if you're feeling ready, I say we just hop right in with question one and start going.
Sounds good. Just do you want me to keep score of the tally on who gets what points?
Why don't we? Yeah, I usually keep score, but yeah, why don't you just for a backup? We'll kind of both keep score, so we're covered. So we'll make sure we're on the same page.
How many beers did you say you were going to give me, John, if you win? Sorry.
How many can I mail in the mail legally?
Sorry, no liquid. My bad. Okay, so you guys ready? Question number one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, question number one. So this is a multi-part answer. Maybe write down your answers and then, so it's kind of...
That's a good idea.
Okay, so this is a multi-part answer. There's 3 parts to it. What are the points available per bag in Cornhole, and when is a game over? What score is it over, and how many points per bag can you potentially get? Does that make sense? Do you need any clarification? So on the board or in the hole, and then when does the game end? So there's 3 numbers there.
Okay, got it.
I think I've got it. I think I've already got the answer.
You've already got the answer. Okay, I'm gonna write mine down just to be efficient.
Do you guys want to do like at the same time, or one and then the other, and then?
Well, yeah. Let's go ahead and start with John. Let's start with the first one. So let's start with in the hole, right? Let's say that's the first one. What did you say, John?
3 points.
Correct.
3 points. 3 points is also what I had. Oh yes, we're gonna get a lot of this. That's for both of us. So we both said 3. So and I Scout's honor.
Right.
I'll do the next one. So on the board is 1 point.
And that's what I got.
Sounds good.
We'll just play one for us each. And I will admit that this is a question I had to that we had to kind of know beforehand because we played the game. Now, John, go ahead and do the end one. So when is a game over of Cornhole? When is a match over?
This is a regular game. It's not like the pros when they only have so many rounds to throw. This is when is a regular match over at what score?
Well, I couldn't have told you the pros had certain numbers of rounds. So
that's not another question. So we're lucky there.
I'm guessing 21 win by 2.
Okay.
I literally wrote down the number 100 because I had no idea. So I just said, once you get to a total score of 100, I have no clue what the answer is.
Okay. So
did either of us get close?
So the judge's decision here is John gets the point. So in a regular game, it's 21. There's no plus or minus. There's some original games where if you go over, you drop down to maybe 15 or 16, and then you have to get the exact number. But
yeah, I've heard that.
21 or above. So, John, 1 point.
Yeah, on honor system, I want to make sure that is for Kevin there, that wrong buzzer. And I'm kind of realizing and I'm not making excuses. I didn't know this and I never would have come up with it. My mindset was sort of in the like, oh, well, I was throwing by myself in the game we played, so you just rack up all these points. But I'm forgetting that there's canceling out and all this kind of stuff when you're playing going where you're each throwing bags on the board. So good job, John, man. Yeah, you definitely showed more knowledge than I did on that. Okay, so question 1 is over, and this is great because normally when question 1 is over, it's like John has 1 and Kevin has 0 or whatever. But right now, if I'm not mistaken, is the total score 3-2 or is it John 1, Kevin 0?
So it's 1-0. So it was you had to get all 3 to get qualify. Yeah.
Look at you trying to get yourself points.
I like the optimism.
All right, I love this already. I love that you're taking command and making this your quiz. Let's keep going.
So number 2, what happens in a competitive match? So this isn't when we're drinking at a tailgate. What happens in a competitive match when somebody plays out of turn? So say it was Kevin and John playing. John threw the last point, so in theory he has the honor to go first, but Kevin goes first. What happens when the wrong player plays out of turn? And because John is the winner of the last round, let's go with John's answer first.
10 laps around the boards.
That's a solid answer.
Is that your real answer, John?
Yes.
No push-ups?
No, just laps.
Okay.
I thought about lashings, but figured just laps.
Maybe bags to the face or something.
Yeah.
Bags to the face. Ouch. They have to put their face inside underneath the cornhole so that any bag that falls in falls right on them. That's not my answer. That would just be great.
Okay.
I have my answer.
Okay, let's go.
I would say they automatically lose the round. Maybe I'm not understanding cornhole, but that's what I'm going to say, that round is automatically goes to the other player.
So, you know what? It's a little closer, but no. So we're going to do 0-0. So the correct answer is
John.
Whoever throws out a turn, that bag is then taken out of play, and the person who should have thrown first throws 2 bags in a row. So not alternating. They throw the original first bag,
and then the
opponent's bag is already taken away, and then you throw another bag. So there can be quite the competitive advantage if you want to be offensive and then defensive on your second bag. Offensive on your first bag, throw it in the hole. Defensive, blocking the hole on your second.
Now, if I'm spoiling a question, then please don't answer this. But I was wondering if you could talk a little about what it means to play defense in cornhole.
So there are regulations to cornhole bags, and there doesn't necessarily have to be 2 different materials on a bag. So you can have a slow side and a fast side. Or you could have a slow and a slow, or you could have a fast and a fast.
Oh, like literally one side of the bag slides faster and the other side might slide slower based on the material it's made out of?
Exactly. So if you could think of in a game of soccer, you've got a defense and you've got the attackers. So one is maybe the slow side and one's the fast side. So you can put everyone in your defense blocking the goal, or you can put everyone up front who's just trying to get aggressive and get the points. So you can literally turn the bag to a slow side, throw it right in front of the hole, and then it's tough to get through it, around it, or over it.
Yeah, without knocking theirs in. You could succeed and give them the point, but you'd get one, but you'd give them one also, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
Got it. So yeah, it all comes down to kind of knowing your strengths and then knowing your strategy and how you want to go against your opponent. That was a great explanation. Thanks for that.
Yeah.
My pleasure. So still 1-0 to John right now after question 2. Okay, are we ready? Question 3?
Let's do it.
Okay, so this is, I don't know how you've done this in the past. So this is going to be alternating answers.
Okay.
So because John went first on the last game, Kevin's going to go first on this one, and then John, and then Kevin, and then John, and whoever gets the correct answer last wins the point.
Okay.
Okay, so what names or terms can you give for getting all 4 bags in the hole? So there's, if you throw 4 bags in the hole, someone will congratulate you and you say, congratulations for throwing a X.
John, do you know any? Okay, I go first. All right.
So I guess real quick, James.
And this is judge's discretion on the answers.
Right. With the judge's discretion, are these just terms that we might use, or are these actual terms that are used professionally and
in
actual
the community?
Terms that are used in cornhole matches? There's several answers. I can think of at least half a dozen. So we could be here for a little while.
I can think of 0.
Or very quickly.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna based on sports knowledge and just kind of I'm gonna say an ace. Is that one? So,
no.
Ace in the hole.
So
4 aces.
A little bit of a spoiler here. An ace would be if you throw it straight in the hole and get one shot straight in, like an.
That is an ace.
This doesn't ruin any other question. It's called an airmail or an ace.
Okay.
But for 1, but 4. So John, you can take this with one single answer.
One answer, John.
Baker's hat trick?
No, Baker's hat trick. Is that like 13?
Well. No, I mean, a hat trick is 3, so a Baker's hat trick I figured would be 4.
I like the creativity.
Okay, you know what? You can start your own league, and that will be the next thing, the Baker's hat trick.
I think the translation here, James, is that John and I have no
We have
clue.
no idea.
I think it would be fun to make up a bunch of answers back and forth. But
So it can be called a cornzilla, a zilla, a 4-bagger.
4-bagger! That's a baseball term. A 4-bagger would be a home run, but they don't call it a home run, do they?
No, they don't, unfortunately. That could have been John's answer to number 2 when you mess up and you run around run around the court 10 times. It'd be home run, get running.
I love it though. Cornzilla, 4-bagger, a zilla. What else was there?
4-pack. And now I'm drawing a blank because I didn't write down many answers for that one.
In our competition, at least on my end, I can tell you I got 0 Cornzillas. So just to start setting the bar in a good place for us.
So my money's getting safe on the breaking 40 right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will say I'm already feel like I'm ready to play some Cornhole just because I can be like, hey, sweet Zilla, man, when somebody gets one on me.
Sweet Zilla. That's even better. So before this podcast, I was practicing out of my driveway just to keep the blood pumping on Cornhole.
Well, I was going to ask you that earlier. Do you pretty much play every day? I mean, maybe not competitively, but at least practicing in your driveway?
I do. I try to play competitively even when I'm practicing. So there's this isn't going to ruin it either. Mm-hmm. There's an app. So let's plug an app called Scoreholio, and it's a free app to download. You can pay to get premium features, right. But this Scoreholio app, you can have Cornhole, you can have beer pong, you can have maybe horseshoes. It's got several different games. You can choose the game and then you can get the scoreboard. Scoreholio is like the Tinder of Cornhole. If you go to another city and you've got your Scoreholio app, you can bring it up. You can search for where the competitions are within a certain distance parameter, and you can turn up to a bar or a park, and you can enter a Cornhole competition.
Very cool.
It's pretty rad, yeah. So if you're going on vacation, so I'm from Vegas, I lived in Vegas. If you go to Vegas, you can bring up this app and you can get a game. You can get some action in Vegas, some Cornhole action. You really should. And you can get a free, if you have an iWatch, you can get the app on your watch and you can get a scoreboard. So
nice.
We could even be doing that right now for this competition right now for the points.
We could have had that as our scoreboard. What is our score update? I believe it's still 1-0, John?
1-0. Yeah.
1-0, John. Yeah.
Okay.
Are we ready for question number 4? Mm-hmm.
We are.
This one's a little cruel, so I don't expect anyone to get this. If you get the first name, I'm going to give you the point.
Okay.
If you get the full name, maybe it's going to be an extra bonus. As of October 2021, so this month, Who is the current number 1 ranked ACL player?
James Sassoon.
Oh, I was going to say James Sassoon. You stole it from me.
I'm way down. I'm way down. Oh, and the Scoreholio app, you can get world rankings, and I'm down. But I've got a ranking.
Do you have a number? What is your current number?
So we're going to do a little bit of sidetracking here. So I'm bringing up my Scoreholio app. I'm bringing up my player profile. Global. So it's global ranking. Actually, it's not too bad. It's 442.
Look, out of the entire world, to be the 432nd best at something?
442nd.
442nd. Sorry, I'm bad with numbers. That is fantastic.
Well, what he's not telling you, there's only 443.
It's a global ranking, but pretty much only the USA does this.
Okay.
And I don't think the pros use this app. So it sounds way better than it actually is. But 442, my claim to fame.
I'm going to edit that part out and let people think you're still a baller, man. I'm going to, no, I won't. I'll leave the honesty in, but that's, dude, I'm sure you're a wonderful player, but yeah, we got to come up with a name here, John.
There's a first name and a last name.
Steven Smith.
Great
That's
answer.
Good strategy.
Great answer.
It's a very good strategy.
I can't give anything away just yet, though.
I had a somewhat similar strategy with a somewhat common last name. I'm going to choose the name Travis because that is a gentleman who I play Frisbee with who introduced me to James. So I'm just going to choose Travis. I'm going to say last name Johnson. Travis Johnson is my guess.
You guys are pretty. I like the way you're going, like hedging your bets. And 0 points for first and last name.
0 points. Let's get...
Of course.
So on the app, on the website I actually gave away one of the answers to one of the questions, later questions, so I'm not going to reiterate it. The answer is Trey Birchfield. And this guy he's good. He's good. There's several good players out there. This guy right now, as of October 21, he's number 1 ranked.
I will say Trey Birchfield. That is, I don't know. That sounds like a cornhole name. That sounds like he was born to do it. You know, that's Birchfield.
Midwest
that's just
suburbs.
Yeah, man. Good for him. All right. I'm going to get a poster of him on my wall is what I'm going to do.
I love it. Yeah, do it. Okay. So that was question number 4.
Okay, 1-0, John.
Do you guys normally score more points than this?
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, we're doing really bad.
There's been one or two where I've scored 0. So,
and in our defense, and this is no knock on your quiz, but normally we have multiple choice, so we have a little bit. Our odds are a little bit higher.
This is fun.
I love the vibe of this quiz. I don't care if it's not. This is so much fun. Let's keep going.
Okay, so this is going to be my idea was going to be multi-answer for a single point. But I'm going to say if you can give me 3 answers, it's going to be a point each because I feel bad for the low points. So if either one of you can answer 3 cornhole bag companies or the model of a bag, and it's 3 maximum points, or I can't say just 1 because that might be a little bit too. You know what? 1. If you can name 1 cornhole bag company or a bag model.
So I've got an idea for a bag model.
Okay.
Slip and slide.
Oh, hey. Well, what if that is one?
That's what I'm hoping for.
Not that I know of, but it's quite close to one that I can think of. Kevin, can you come up with one? If you can't come up with one, there's a tiebreaker answer that it'll go down to the buzzer, whoever can get it first. So, Kevin, can you come up with an answer?
I do just want to say that I like that the bar is being set properly to the point where you now understand that, you know what, if you just get one of these, that's good enough. Like that is the bar that we're at. I'm trying to use some logic here. I'm trying to use logic, but I'm coming up with nothing.
Let me help you out with, you can think of animals. Quite a lot of people name a model after an animal. Can you think of something?
Oh, I like this clue. Let me think. Okay.
So sorry, John. This is like to make it catch up.
Wow. I feel like I'm going to kick myself, but I can't think of something that would be sort of bag in the realm of bag for an animal. For some reason, turtle is coming to mind just because of the slowness of a potential slow turtle for a slow bag. So I'm just going to say the turtle bag company.
I don't think there is one. Typically, they go the other way. So there's dragon bags, there's honey badger, there's mantis, there's tiger, there's fierce, there's.
I get it.
Normally, it's like the fire.
I'm picturing a penguin sliding across the ice. I want to see a penguin bag, one that slides across the board.
I like it. Okay, so. Nobody's scored on that, so it's going to be the first person who can shout out the answer. Mr. Trey, his last name is a model, John. Birchfield is a model.
He has a model named after him. Oh my gosh.
He does. So Trey Birchfield is sponsored by a company called Lucky Bags, and they have the Birchfield bag, which is like a tartan paisley.
Do you own any Birchfields?
I do not.
What is your go-to brand?
It's not a bag of my choice.
What is your go-to brand?
This is not a question that I've got on the thing. I think I've got 24 sets of bags, which actually isn't that many.
Okay.
I've got 2 sets currently, one in FedEx and one in USPS coming to me. They're both very popular brands. One is a 724, and it's 724 WMD, Weapons of Mass Destruction. So 724 is the area code in Pennsylvania.
Oh, I love it.
And the other one is Cornhole Scenario. It's also an East Coast company, and it is a friction. The name is Friction, and it has an octopus as its logo on the bag.
That's solid.
Some of these things, because they have the supply is so short and the demand is so high, the bags are ridiculously expensive. 4-5 times. Okay, so this Cornhole Scenario Friction bag, the person I got these from was advertising them on a Facebook website for who can get to the nearest $100 for an extra point. I love this game.
For a set of 4 bags?
For a set of 4 bags, who can get to the nearest $100? I've got a number in my mind, and it's an even 100. So if you go 100 increments.
Okay.
And whoever's closest is going to get the point.
I'm gonna play it. I don't know if it's safe.
And you know what? I'm going to say John goes first because he's already 2-0 up. So I'm going to give you a little edge.
I'll get a chance to maybe, unless he gets it right. And then, okay.
I'm going to go 400. Do 100 a bag.
Okay. for solid guess. Now, Kevin, are you going above or below?
Yeah, that's what's scary. That was what I was going to choose. I was going to say 400. It is really hard for me to imagine 4 bags going for more than $400. Maybe I'll have my mind blown, but I'm going to say 300. I'm going to say 300.
John, you get the extra point.
It is more than 400.
$535 this guy had them placed at, or best offer. And people will pay close to that 500 mark.
That is amazing.
It's ludicrous. And the bag costs brand new $100 to buy, but the company is fulfilling orders back in December and January. So now they're just catching up. So the demand is there and the supply is just trickle.
All right. Well, so
we were up to question number 6 already.
And I have a lot of work to do. John is up 3-0 on me.
Okay. So this kind of comes back to where I was going before. There are 2 main competitive cornhole bodies, like organizations. What are they? I'll give you both a slight clue. It's 3-letter abbreviation. So it's bum, 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 3 letters, and that represents the body.
Okay. And I'm sorry, for the format, did you want me to try to name one first and then John, or are we writing both our answers down?
Oh, I was going to see if John could give you a hint and like give you one of them, and then you could maybe get the other one. I'm trying to make this a little bit closer in points wise.
I don't. It may be too late for young Kevin here. I don't know. It just. I mean, I think I know one, right? Like,
yeah, Kevin, I'll let you go first. So, well, I mean, I think we both know one.
Yeah. Okay. So if I'm not mistaken, ACL, right? The American Cornhole League. That is a body of cornhole, right? Yeah. Yep. All right. So I'll take that one. I'm gonna get just for my self-esteem.
Right. I mean, and yeah, that was gonna be my guess. And then I'm guessing International Cornhole League.
So no.
The NCL maybe. What about just National Cornhole League?
So they're both American cornhole. One is league and the other is organization.
ACO
and ACL. They're the 2 main ones. I believe there are some smaller, but these 2 main ones, ACL is on ESPN, and the ACO is also another national recognized body.
Did the ACO tear off of the ACL?
You know what? I'm not entirely sure who came first, chicken or the egg.
Is that an ACL joke? Was that an ACL joke?
Yes, it was an ACL joke.
Like the ligament ACL?
Your ligament?
Yeah, you tear your ACL.
So did I get a point on that one? What happened there?
You know what? I'm going to get judge's discretion. It's 3-1.
Okay, all right.
3-1 going into round 7.
I got a 6-pack of beer coming your way, James, since it's judge's discretion, by the way.
But shouldn't it be a 4-pack?
Yeah, there you go. Okay, man, John, you're just going to one-up me, aren't you?
But you can get 12 points for the 4 bags in the hole, so it's definitely going to be a 12-pack.
It's got to be a 12-pack. We're both wrong. There's a little buzzer for both of us there on that one. All right, question number 7, right?
Okay, question number 7. So you write the answer down. It's going to be the honor system here. What is the dimension of the hole on a cornhole board, of a regulation cornhole board, in inches?
Yeah, so the diameter, right?
Yes, diameter.
Man, that's very interesting. Do you have something written down already, John?
No, I'm trying to think about from earlier today.
I know. I have something written down, and I'm like, is that too big?
It's probably going to be like a basketball hoop, right? From the ground, it looks like, it's just big enough for a basketball, but in reality, you could fit like 2 through the hoop. I mean,
yeah, exactly. I wrote down a number, and I'm going to stick with it because I would be if it's right and I change it, I'm going to be so mad at myself. So I got my number written down.
Yeah, I've got a number.
Okay.
I don't know if you can read that.
I can.
I was going with 6.
I said 8.
Yeah. John, another point, 6 inches.
John, man, I quit.
I'll mimic your shirt, Kevin.
What'd you say?
So I'm mimicking your shirt.
Oh, yeah, I got a Rage Against the Machine shirt on. It's the Battle of Los Angeles guy. He's got his fist in the air. John, you're going to win, man. Well, I guess there's still a chance.
No, I mean, there's still a chance.
Yeah. 4-1 John right now. All right, so 6 inches.
6 inches, yeah. So clearly some people think it's bigger than others.
I wish, let's lower the bar a little more. I wish it was 8 inches based on my score in our competition.
It would slip in so much easier.
Yes, very well done. Well done. I'll leave that one alone.
Okay, so this is going to be the final question, number 8. So
there's a possible 4 points here, right? Because did we want to reveal our scores first for our
I was going to say, maybe we want to reveal our scores. Yeah.
Okay.
I think now's the time to do it because the total score right now is John 4, Kevin 1, right?
So do we want to flip the table here and have James guess?
Oh, guess what we scored.
Yeah.
Based on kind of the clues that we're dropping, and guess who thinks won. What do you think is best? Just guess.
I think just guess who won.
Guess who won and by how much?
I think it was relatively close. I think it was a 6-point spread, and I think John had 22 and Kevin had 28.
Okay, all right. So you think I won by 6? I love that you went for the number 2. Okay, so let's start with you, John. We said James's guess is you got 22. How many did you, again? Possible of 48 points. We threw 4 bags of 4.
And I started off really well. I mean, I sank the first 2 in. I mean, they slid in, but the first 2 went in. And I ended up with 13 points total.
Because the thing is, when you're playing against yourself, you can put blockers up, and then if you can't get past it,
well, that you're assuming I was hitting the board all the time.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Correct. Yes.
That's the thing. Now, here's my biggest thing was that I was hitting the board a lot, and they were bouncing off. Because my big thing was when I wasn't throwing with a good art, they would slide off every time. And so the strategy I went with was throwing a high arc to try to get them to land squarely on the board. And I had a lot of bouncing off, and I lost. I got 11 points. I am not happy about this at all. I'll tell you right now, I practiced beforehand. Like we made a rule that you could practice warm up as much as you want, but honor system, once you say you start, you start. And I was practicing, and I couldn't break 10. I was like, oh my gosh, I kept getting 9. And then when I actually did it, I got 11, and I was feeling pretty good about myself. And I still lost. Oh my gosh.
And you know what? I'm going to give you guys the benefit of the doubt. Clearly, you weren't using the right bags.
Thank you. It was definitely the bag's fault.
Yeah, I mean, I was using my in-laws set because I've got some boards, but I don't have any bags anymore. And so I don't know where they came from. They were just Purdue brand.
I will say with all sincerity, I don't even know if sincerity is the right word here. I thought I was pretty good at cornhole. I stepped into this thinking, when I play with friends, I usually win. I'm usually like the guy I'm pretty good at throwing things in a small area. And I was feeling pretty good about it. And then when I realized like, wow, it's going to be hard to score on here, I actually thought my score of 11 was going to hold up. I genuinely did. So I am getting a serving of humble pie right now. John, I'm proud of you. By the way, we videoed this. We each did multi-camera angles. We videoed this. I'm going to put it up on the site. So it's just going to be, kind of a quick look at how we did and where we went. I started off pretty good. My first 2 rounds were 4 and 5. And I was like, all right, I got 9 points right off the bat. This is great. And then I got 1s my next 2 rounds. So that was...
Yeah, I got 6 the first, and then... Yeah.
Another 6.
The video may edit pretty nicely because it may be close down to the wire, and I'll try to build some suspense. But if you already listened to this, you already know the results. But at least go watch, and you can see the embarrassment in action.
I can't wait to see you guys' styles.
Yeah.
Throwing technique.
Yeah, good. I can't wait for you to judge us harshly. Okay, so my understanding is it's 5-1, John, right? And we talked before the episode that this question has a potential of 4 points. The very last question, right?
This could be your tie.
In theory, I'm still in it, at least for a tie.
This last question, I even printed out from the ACL website, like a diagram of this.
Okay.
So, multi-point answer, tiebreaker question, possible 4-point answer. What are the distance? A, front of the board to front of the board. B, total length required, so it's going to be back of the board to the back of the board. This is a little bit crazy. Hole to hole, what's the distance in feet? All of feet. And then the width. So the board, I'm going to give you a partial answer. The width of the board is 2 feet. What's the regulation to left and right that people can stand to kind of get that angle, that attack angle into the hole? So you're allowed to step out so far to either the left or the right, whichever side of the board you're on, to kind of get around any blockers.
Okay, so we got an ABCD situation here. I will say, and unless I'm mistaken, I think we're both going to know the first one, and so that may screw me over in winning here. But let's see what happens and see how close we get. So let's take a minute to write down our answers. I'll edit a lot of this quiet time out. But let's write down all 4 answers, John.
I think I've got my 4.
Oh, good job.
You're fast. John, for the record, is much smarter than me. So let's just get that out of the way. And a better cornhole
I would
player.
say I'm smarter than you.
We have different areas of genius, which is why we made this podcast,
Right.
isn't it? So you have your 4 answers, John, right?
I do.
I have mine as well.
So A is going to be front of board to front of the board. How many feet do we believe it is?
27.
I said 27 feet.
Okay, so it's 1-1.
That's for both of us.
Fantastic. So B is going to be from the back of the board to the back of the board. So how long do you think these boards are each?
I think they're 4 foot.
Oh, I went with 2 feet. So I said 31 feet total.
I went 35.
Yeah, you know what? Why does I should have checked my answers.
There's some controversy here, huh?
There is. So I believe
Measure gate.
the rules and regulations give you behind more room than just the board. So I was going to be misleading you a little bit.
Oh,
so you're allowed to stand further back.
Essentially, it's the play area, not the back of the board to the back of the board.
Okay.
Yeah.
Should we just quickly adjust our answers to include that?
I'm guessing 40 then.
Oh man, I was going to say the exact same thing, but let's.
You can still say it.
That's true. I can, but I want to. But I need points at this point. I'm going to say
Closest gets it.
Closest gets it. All right, I'm going to say 45 feet then.
Oh, it's 45 feet.
Oh yeah, right on. Just get John because we haven't had enough of those for John today.
As per ACL regulations, it's 45 feet from back to back.
Back of the room to back of the room, and then okay, all right.
Okay, so letter C, hole to hole.
Hole to hole. All right.
I said 31.
I said 29.
Oh, John's closer. It's 33 feet.
33 for John because I said 29. You said 31. All right, John keeps racking up the points.
And now it's called the pitcher's box.
Okay.
So you're allowed X amount of feet from the side of the board to play in. And it's going to be from the left-hand side to the right-hand side. So both pitcher's box and the board.
I said 8 feet.
I did too.
It's 8 feet.
Wow.
You guys are both bang on, yeah.
Let's just say we're both winners then, yeah?
Yeah.
Is that fair? Except not at all, because what do you've been keeping score for us, James? What does that put us at as a grand total?
So that was 3-3 on that last round. So it's going to be 8-4.
8-4, John.
Yeah, 8-4, John.
Well, we each got 3 points on that last round. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Everything else I did was not very impressive, but
It's the most points I've scored in a quiz.
it is. And you know what? I believe this is we have a lot of firsts here. This is the first time we've had an outside competition as part of our quiz. This is the first time that an impromptu question has been thrown in, which I can't even remember what it was now. But James, you were an excellent MC host of this competition, man. This was so much fun.
Changing the goalposts as we go.
I know. And you know what I've had running through my head this whole time is that, you have connections in the cornhole world. You're connected to various groups where you may post this podcast. I'm thinking we have a lot, we may have some new ears listening who are cornhole people, and maybe they were listening thinking, oh, maybe these hosts know their stuff. And we definitely proved that we don't.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully we came up with some with some new terms that, if you want to use the baker's hat trick, go ahead.
Yeah.
Hey, John, that would be an excellent name for a bag.
Yeah.
It could be the KJ hat trick bag. Or the JK hat trick bag.
KJ hat trick bag. Oh, we're going to get into branding cornhole stuff now is what we're going to do.
So out of curiosity, James, does cornhole, the ACL, does it have anything like the World Series?
Pretty much. So to be an ace, so they both have professional players, and I'm doing the quotation marks here. You have to play so many so you play local events, you play regional events, and then you play countrywide events. I can't think of that.
Like national events.
National events. And then all these points add up. So the bigger the competition, the more points you can score. So the local events, you can maybe score 100 points if you win. The regional events, you might be able to score 1,000 points. But the national events, you might be able to score 2,000, 3,000. I'm not too sure on the pointing because I'm not a pro and I have to work on weekends, so I can't give up my time, unfortunately. And once you get that amount of points, then it kind of certifies you to go into the playoffs to become a pro. And literally there'll be these big events where anybody who's eligible goes, and it might be the top 32 players who get the pro status.
Okay.
Ooh, status.
Status.
Speaking American there.
Yeah, hopefully none of your British friends are listening because that's pretty embarrassing.
I mean, at least it's not made out of aluminium.
Oh,
Seriously, yeah. Nothing in this game is aluminium.
James, before we kind of wrap up and say bye, I just wanted to take this opportunity as a transition, as John mentioned, the World Series, just to quickly plug our next episode because we are doing various series. John has been very excited about the Dune book series because the new Dune movie is coming out. You want to talk about that for a sec? Yeah,
I mean, it's a movie that's been, scheduled to come out for over the past year, but because of COVID and theaters being shut down and everything. It's not the first Dune movie that's been made. There was one made back in the 80s with Patrick Stewart and Sting.
You're giving me too many answers for your quiz next week.
No. It was directed by David Lynch, and then there was a mini series on the Sci-Fi Channel back in the early 2000s. But the new movie looks great. It's only half the book. So
wow, and it's probably 4 hours long, the movie.
It's 2.5.
2.5.
The runtime's 2.5.
In honor of the release of the movie, John is quizzing me on the Dune book series. And so then I thought, well, what should I quiz John on? And because I never learned how to read, I don't have a series of books. I am literate. I do know how to read, but I'm not a big reader. I thought, well, what series do I know? I know the World Series. I'm a big baseball fan. It's October. The World Series is approaching quickly. My Dodgers are hopefully going to make a run at it. And so I will be quizzing John on World Series history, World Series facts. John will be quizzing me on Dune series, and we're pretty excited about it. So hopefully there's something for everybody in there.
And even though I may be a Cubs fan, I am going to root for the Dodgers this year.
Thank you, John. I would be mad at you otherwise. Actually, James, the first time that we talked, I was on my way to a Dodger game, and I remember you gave me a little "Go Dodgers, hope they win," and I was like, "Yeah, go James."
For sure. Even though I'm British, I've still been to the Dodgers, I think, twice, and I lived in Philadelphia, so I went to the Phillies a couple of times as well.
Games. That's great, man.
They were a lot of fun. I mean,
it's a good experience. It's obviously culturally different than the crickets and the various sports going on in England that I am not well knowledgeable on. But anyways, James. Man,
their version of football.
Yeah, whatever it is that you guys do over there, it doesn't matter. I don't care. No, just joking. That sounded very insensitive. I love British culture. James, you've been awesome, man. Do you have anything that you'd like to promote, either a social media or what's next for you? What are you playing in next? What are your goals? Anything to kind of give us a final thought on?
Completely spur of the moment. I didn't see this coming. I'm playing in 2 cornhole leagues at the moment in Los Angeles. So they're both 8-week leagues. We're in week 3 on both leagues. They started on the same week. I play on a Tuesday in Torrance, California, and on Thursdays in El Segundo at a Moose Lodge. So you can just wish me luck for that. So
good luck, man.
There's money to buy in and there's money to win at the end of it. So
my understanding from talking to our mutual friend Travis is that there's also at some of these places there's like a beginners and I don't know if expert what the right word is, but would you say that like if somebody's interested in getting into cornhole, what's the best way to do that? Are there these beginner tournaments that they can hop in on?
Definitely there are. So you typically get social, competitive, and advanced. That might be the 3 brackets.
Okay.
The social is you turn up, you have fun, you have a beer, you have a laugh and a joke.
You score 11 points.
you keep chatting, and quite often there'll be a timer on the board, and then you might get timed down. You don't even finish the game. The competitive side of things is a little bit less talk, and you're scoring more points, and you're probably going to finish the game. And the advanced is you don't talk, you throw it in the hole every single time, and the other guy's the enemy.
Wow.
I think our strategy, Kevin, is we'd have to talk.
Yeah, I think we'd have to talk a lot. Yeah. We'd be in the social league. Yeah, loser buys a beer.
I'm saying we go to the other leagues and we just talk.
Oh, we go to the non-talking leagues, and then our best strategy is just to distract. We'll record our podcast as we're playing. Well, it all sounds like a ton of fun. And James, I'm from the South Bay where you live. I'm living in West LA now, but I know we live close. So I hope to join you. And at least if you're in the non-talking tournament, I'll leave you alone while you're playing. But I will come out one of these days and have a beer with you and throw some cornholes and throw some bags. I'm looking forward to that.
You guys are great. I really appreciate it. Thanks.
Okay. All right. We'll catch y'all later. Thanks again, James. Bye.
Thank you.
It's the Lack of Genius podcast in your ear holes at last. They don't know they're Mars from Venus. That's why it's the Lack of Genius podcast. I wish it was 8 inches based on my score in our competition.
It would slip in so much easier.